Many of you know that I've been wrestling with health issues for the past couple of years. A little over a year ago, I was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis, an autoimmune illness. The severity of my symptoms goes up and down. Stress and lack of sleep make my symptoms worse. Early on, it became clear to me that I would not be running for a 6th term next year, and towards the end of the summer, it became clear that I should not complete my term. However, I did want to feel a sense of completion. One project I'd been working on for 19 years, the Ardsley Drainage Project, broke ground in September. Another project I worked on for several years, Upper Dublin's first comprehensive plan, was approved this fall. Our budget for next year was completed tonight. This is a good time to start listening to my body. So I'm announcing tonight that I will retire as a commissioner as of January 11th, 2011, after 19 years. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve in this office. First, it's been an honor to serve the residents of Upper Dublin in general and my constituents in particular. I've been so honored to have consistently received the support of my constituents, always in an amount that exceeded my party's registration, and you can never know how wonderful that made me feel. In addition to being honored to represent my constituents, I want to say how honored I've been to serve with the people sitting up here and their predecessors. After working with them and interacting with state representatives, our state senator, and members of Congress, I can honestly say that I leave office as more of an idealist and less of a cynic than I was when I was first elected. I have found elected public officials try to do what they think is best for the public. The number of elected officials I've known who seem to have had a motive other than the public good, I can count on one hand with several fingers left over. That's not to say that we always agree on what is best. We have had some pretty heated arguments on this board, but one thing I could be sure of, the commissioners were always looking to do what they thought was best for the township. Let me take a moment to send a message to the residents. When commissioners do not do what you want, often we hear that you think there's some ulterior motive, or, as was reported in last week's Amber Gazette, fraud. You have to realize, as I have as a commissioner, that when a majority does not agree with you, it means you have not persuaded them that you're correct. The job of an elected official is to use their judgment to do what they think is best for the township. Their job is not to just follow your opinion if they do not agree that that's the best thing for the township. I also want to say how honored I've been to have the kind of staff, the quality of staff we have in this township. From the average employee up through the manager and including all of our professional consultants and contractors, they've all served the public with the highest professionalism and integrity. I would like to make a recommendation on my way out for the rest of you. For 19 years I've served as commissioner at a salary of $275 per month. I suggest that in January this board consider and approve raising the salary of commissioner to whatever the state now says commissioners of townships of this size should be paid, beginning in January of 2014. That way the commissioners would all be paid the same moving on. My wife tells me this speech is too long, but I would be remiss if I did not also thank Ruth for all of her support and yes, sometimes criticism of my work as commissioner. I have valued and always listened to her advice even when I did not follow it. And that's all.
I'd like to thank Jules for his service. He will be still the commissioner until the 11th. Jules and I were both sworn in January 1992. That's a long time ago.
Someday we'd meet in the middle.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. We were on opposite ends of the
and you did.
And we did. Yes,
in the middle.
Several times.
Yes.
Jules' kids have grown up knowing that their father was sitting up here, missing a lot of things in their lives, as mine have, and most of everybody else up here. But for 19 years, we've worked together, and for the most part, we didn't come to blows. Jules, you have one thing that you have to do. You have to submit a formal letter to the secretary of the township. Okay. And the second thing that I have to announce is that anybody who wishes to be considered for appointment for a one-year term, to complete Jules' term is less than 1 year, should have a resume and a cover letter stating the reasons why they feel they should be appointed. That has to be in by December 28th. That's 2 weeks from tonight. We will take this up.
And they have to
live in to the township.
And they have to live in the ward.
They have to live in my ward.
In Ward 5.
Township manager?
To the township manager's office, have to be submitted. They will be distributed to the Board of Commissioners to review. We will not conduct interviews, as we did not when we appointed Sharon. At the stated meeting of January 11th, we will begin at 6:30 instead of 7 p.m. To deal with the issue first of appointment to the Board of Commissioners. That will be a special meeting, followed immediately by the stated meeting, the swearing in, the stated meeting. So a judge will have to be on hand to whoever we pick to swear that person in, and we will go from there. Jules, it's been a pleasure, and you're still around for another month. We can still abuse them.
That's right.
So all the residents, call up a complaint to Jules about something. All right, does anybody have any comments before we ask for a motion to adjourn?
Just one, Bob. Probably out of this entire board, being the only Republican, and Jules and I have been diametrically opposed on a lot of different issues, but the one thing I'll take away is your friendship, Jules, and I'll cherish that for a long time to come, I hope. And I always want you to know that while we may have disagreed on occasion, I've always respected your opinion.
As I have yours.
I've learned a lot, so thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn to executive session? So moved. Do we have a second to adjourn to executive session? We will be meeting in executive session to deal with litigation, and we will not return. Thank you and good night. We're going to stay in here.
Sir. Stay here.